Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting your knowledge to the absolute test with a master-tier historical and theological challenge all about the Gospel of Luke. This book was written by a physician and companion of Paul, so it's this incredibly detailed chronological account of the life, ministry, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But how well do you really know it? Let's find out.
Here's how this works. I'm going to put 5 seconds on the clock for each question, and we're going to push through 3 escalating rounds of difficulty. We've got easy, medium, and tough levels. So grab a pen, keep track of your score, lock in your answers, and let's see just how well you know this physician's incredibly detailed account of Jesus.
Round 1, easy level, the foundations. Okay, here is your very first question, coming straight out of Luke chapter 10. How many disciples did Jesus send out in pairs to preach the kingdom ahead of him? Is it A, 12, B, 40, C, 70, or D, 120? You have 5 seconds on the clock, starting right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lock it in. Time's up. The correct answer is C, 70. Now, if you happen to be a bit of a history buff, you might know some manuscripts actually read 72. But the absolute crucial point here is that Jesus appointed this specific, really large group and sent them out 2 by 2, directly ahead of him to every single town and place he was about to go. Give yourself a point if you got that one right. Let's move on to our next question and see if we can build up that score. This one actually takes us all the way to the crucifixion in chapter 23. While on the cross, what did Jesus say to the criminal who asked, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom"? Was it A, "You must first be baptized"? B, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise"? C, "Your sins are too great to be forgiven"? Or D, "Depart from me, I never knew you"? You've got 5 seconds on the clock, starting now. And the answer is B. Now notice how perfectly this specific quote really hits the nail on the head regarding Luke's overarching theme throughout his entire gospel. Luke constantly, and I mean constantly, emphasizes extending immediate grace and compassion to the outcast and the marginalized. Even in his absolute final moments, Jesus is portrayed doing exactly that for a condemned criminal. Moving right along to round 2, medium level, the ministry deepens. All right, during the journey to Jerusalem in chapter 17, Jesus heals 10 men of what specific debilitating physical disease? Is it A, blindness, B, paralysis, C, leprosy, or D, muteness? You know the drill. 5 seconds on the clock. Make your choice. The correct answer is C, leprosy. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates another really key focus for Luke. Because the crucial point of this story isn't actually just the physical healing itself. It's the fact that out of all 10 who were cleansed and went to show themselves to the priests, only one single person returned to give thanks. And who was it? A marginalized Samaritan. Luke is deliberately highlighting the outsider here as the one demonstrating true faith and gratitude. Okay, here is your final medium-level question, and this one is regarding the day of the resurrection in chapter 24. Jesus walks incognito alongside 2 discouraged disciples heading to which nearby village? Is it A, Emmaus, B, Bethany, C, Capernaum, or D, Joppa? Lock in your guess before that timer runs out. Well, if you guessed A, you are absolutely correct. This super famous incognito post-resurrection appearance happens right on the 7-mile road to the village of Emmaus. It's this incredibly detailed narrative entirely unique to Luke's account, where Jesus actually explains the scriptures to them on the road before finally revealing his identity when breaking bread. Just an amazing scene. Time to turn up the heat. Round 3, tough level, master tier details. You're going to want to listen really closely to the options for this one. Looking at chapter 22, in Luke's account of Jesus' agonizing prayer in Gethsemane, what unique physical symptom does he actually record? Is it A, complete loss of vision, B, temporary paralysis of his arms, C, his sweat became like great drops of blood falling to the ground, or D, inability to speak or cry out? You have 5 seconds on the clock. Go. And the correct answer is C. Now, what's truly fascinating about this detail is the author's background. Remember, Paul mentions in the epistles that Luke was a physician. So this vividly detailed physiological manifestation of extreme stress, sweat becoming like drops of blood, is entirely unique to Luke's medical perspective. He literally notices and records the physical toll of that agony in a way the other gospel writers just don't. All right, for your final master tier question, we are zooming out and looking at the macro structure of the text. Scholars note that a massive portion of Luke's gospel, spanning all the way from chapter 9, verse 51, to chapter 19, verse 27, is dedicated to a single narrative frame. So, what is this huge structural section commonly called? A, the Galilean ministry, B, the travel narrative, C, the Passion Week, or D, the post resurrection discourses? That final timer is running, lock it in.
The correct answer is B, the travel narrative, which is actually sometimes also called the journey to Jerusalem. And man, this just brilliantly illustrates how Luke organizes his historical account. It's this massive structural block uniquely dedicated to recording Jesus' slow, incredibly teaching-dense journey toward his final destiny. Literally, this entire section frames his parables and teachings as lessons given right there on the road.
Tally your final score? The takeaway?
So whether you got every single one of them right, or maybe just a few, the crucial point here is what we actually learn from compiling all these incredible details. As you total up your score, take a second to look at the overarching themes we just explored together. From highlighting the faith of a marginalized Samaritan leper, to extending immediate grace to a dying criminal, to noticing the intense physical agony of Jesus from a literal physician's perspective. Ask yourself, how does Luke's constant elevation of outcasts, women, and the poor across these chapters challenge your own perspective on who belongs in the story? It's a really profound way to reread a familiar text. Keep exploring, keep learning, and until next time, keep looking deeper into the details.